Okay, that last tutorial was a bit of a long one there, and so I want to kind of do a short one here about what's called the short run average total cost curve and the long run average total cost curve. For any size firm, as they increase output, they're going to get economies of scale bringing the price down. They will get to some output, about here, that their costs are as low as they can possibly be. If we increase output after that, our average total cost is going to go up. Now, one of the things we could do is that in the short run average total cost, we're stuck. We're stuck with this size factory because we can't increase or decrease the size of this factory overnight because it has to do with logistics of moving all the people around and getting wiring done and electricity, all that sort of stuff. But if we get more and more orders, and if we accept those orders, if this is our price level, obviously if we accept more and more orders, our average total cost is going to get above our price level. From about here, this output to this output, this is our price level, this is our average total cost, and our average total costs are below our price. We can make a profit in that range because the price is up here, cost is down here, the difference is profit margin. Now you would think that just looking at that, if I would just draw some lines in here, you would think QA, QB, QC, where do you think we ought to produce? Should we produce? QA could be 1,000 output per month. This could be 1,500 output per month. This would be 2,000 output per month. Where do you think we ought to be? Are we going to make any money if we produce 1,000 per month? Right here. The answer is no. Our average total cost is as high as our price. We're not making any money. But what about here? Should we produce an output of 2,000 where our average total cost gets up as high as our price? No, we're not going to make any money. Would you agree that where we want to operate is at the output at which we get the highest profit margin? Does that make sense? We're going to operate where we get the highest profit margin per unit. Price is how much revenue we get per unit. Average total cost is how much it cost us per unit. And at this output, we're going to get a greater profit margin per unit than any other output we could pick. So then the question, this is a nice test question. Would we want to operate, I'll just put two more in here just for grins. We'll call this QA, QX, QY, etc. Which one of these outputs would we pick? This one, this one, this one, this one, or that one. Which one would you pick? And most students make a bad mistake at this point. They say, oh, well, we should pick that output right here at which we have the greatest profit margin. Most students miss this question because that's the wrong answer. That's not the right answer. We don't want to be where we get the greatest profit per unit. We want to be where we get the greatest total profit, not the greatest profit per unit. Remember, what's our profit maximization rule? Oh, we want to be at that output at which MR, which is our price level, exactly matches MC, marginal cost. I don't have any marginal cost curve in there. I got to have a marginal cost curve in there or I don't know how much I should produce. I do not necessarily want to produce where I have the greatest profitability per unit. I want to produce where I get the greatest total profit. And we know our marginal cost curve goes right through the bottom of that curve. And so it goes like this and goes like that. So no, we do not want to be here at the bottom of our average total cost where we're most efficient, because we're not going to make the most money. We're going to make the most money where MR, which is our price level right here, is exactly the same as our MC right here. At this output right here, call it QY, that's where we want to be. We want to be at this output, not this output. Catch that? Most students miss that. So you don't want to miss that. We don't want to be as profitable as we possibly can. We don't want to be as profitable per unit as we possibly can. We want to be as profitable in total as we possibly can. And that only happens where MR equals MC. Now, if we drop back a second and get rid of some of these squiggly lines in here and say, okay, the boss tells me that I'm supposed to be right here because he went to this seminar on microeconomics and profitability, and the guy at the seminar said you want to increase your output up to the point where your marginal cost gets all the way up to whatever your price level is, and you want to hold that output right there. That's what you want to do. And so the boss comes back and starts talking about the accountants, about average cost and average total cost and average marginal cost, what marginal cost is, and all these different costs, so that he can reach this right here, and he's pretty happy. But now he wants to take a vacation. He wants to go down to the Bahamas for a while. It's cold out here. He wants to go to the Bahamas. And so he says, now what I want you to do is if the price goes up, I want you to produce more. And if the price goes down, I want you to produce less. But at this going price level right here, I want you to produce at this output right there. Got it, boss. Have a good vacation. No problem. Okay. Now, everything's going fine. The vice president's sitting there, and all of a sudden he gets a phone call. He makes auto parts for the automobile industry or something. It's Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz says, would you like to go out to eat sometime? And one business never calls another business to ask them if you just want to go out to eat. I mean, obviously there's some business going on here. Sure, you pick the time, pick the place, we'll have a business meeting. So they have a business meeting, and they want to talk business. And the business we want to talk about said, hey, you produce a pretty good product. We're pretty impressed with the quality standards of your product and the thoughtfulness, and your price is pretty competitive too. And the reason we want to talk to you is because we have a supplier right now that we have a real quality problem, and for our best intention, we can't get the quality up, and it's not going through our automated equipment, and we've kind of got a hold of your samples, and your samples run fine through our automated equipment. Would you consider being our supplier? Now, if you're a salesperson, and it's your job to go out there and get sales, is that called a hard sale? Please, can we buy your product? Will you please let us buy your product? We just want to buy your product so badly. We say, oh, well, if you buy me a few more dinners, maybe I might let you buy my product. I don't know, right? Of course, we want to sell your product. Of course, we want to sell more. And it's a big account, and it's a classy account, and they pay well, and it'd be wonderful. But the guy's thinking, but the boss told me that if the price doesn't change, I'm supposed to only produce at this output, but here's Mercedes-Benz, and they want to increase our output all the way over to here. I mean, that's at least 30% more output. That's at least 30% higher in sales, and part of the way I'm paid is on commission, and that'd be one nice commission to do that. And the boss told me I was only supposed to be here because of something he heard at a seminar where he's at a going price level. He wants to be at that output where MC equals MR, and that's what he told me to do. I got to talk to that accountant. So he calls the accountant and says, Mr. Accountant, I'm in marketing, so I know the selling price, the going selling price of what we sell. But what I don't know is what does it cost us per unit to make the stuff that we make? Oh, I think you're asking me for the average total cost? What's that? Well, you take our total cost and you divide by the total number that we produce, and that gives you the average total cost. Yeah, that's what I want. I want the average total. What does it cost us per unit to produce these things? Oh, Well, the price is here at this level, and our average total cost is down here, and the difference between those two numbers is our profit margin per unit. So you take this profit margin times this many units, and that's how much profit we make. And the vice president of sales says, "You're sure of that? I mean, there's nothing else about it? I mean, that's all there is?" Of course, that's all there is. We make this much. If the boss was to call you and ask you that, would you give him the same number that we're making this much per unit? Yeah, that's what I would say. You're sure we're making that much per unit? Yes. Okay, could you send me a memo, send me an email saying that's how much per unit we're making? Okay, yeah, sure, no problem. So then he says, well, if we're making that much per unit and we get this many more units, then we'll be making that much more money. We're making this much profit margin times more units. Yay! That would be great. Hey, Mercedes-Benz, we would be delighted to take your order. Great. Welcome aboard to be part of our proud family of customers. So what's the next thing that happens? Well, at this output right here, all of a sudden we've got to have more raw material, and we got to have more shipping, and we're probably going to have to put on an extra shift, and we're going to need more trained people, and we're going to have more invoices, and people are going to be very, very busy. Very busy, like 30%, 33% busier than they were before. And the boss comes back, and they say, "How's business?" "Well, boss, business has been great. We've never had so much business before. Business is really booming." "Oh, okay, good. But there's something I need to talk to you about, boss. I'm telling you, some way or somehow, you have flat lost it on your costs." "What do you mean I've lost it on my cost?" "Well, ever since we accepted that Mercedes-Benz order, I mean, we've got people on the line that can't get parts fast enough, and they're showing up early just to get their stuff because we keep running out, and we have to have extra storage facilities." Wait. What's this extra storage facilities? And what do you mean extra shipments? And what's this Mercedes-Benz thing? "Oh, yeah, the vice president said that now we've got the Mercedes-Benz order, and that increased our sales volume by 30, almost 40%. He took the Mercedes-Benz order, and that's increasing our sales by 30, 40. Oh, yeah. Mercedes-Benz likes it, except they're having a little bit of problem because we can't get it delivered on time because it takes time to train the people and get the. And so we're going to build another. You're going to build another. Do you know what it means when the boss says, "I need you to come to my office and I need you to be on the red carpet"? Yeah, that's what that means. That's not a good meeting. It's not a good meeting. So what is happening here? When we increased our output because we wanted that Mercedes-Benz business, what happened to our average total cost? Well, at this output, it's here. When we accepted new business, it went all the way up to there. And now our average total cost is above our price, and we are losing money on every single unit that we produce. We're losing money on every single unit we produce. Before we accept that business, we're making a profit on every single unit. Now we're losing on every single unit. How do you eat an elephant? One small bite at a time. So what do you think the boss is going to say when they try to gulp up all this new volume with this Mercedes-Benz business? If I was to ask you out there in radio, TV, computer monitor land, what would you say if you were the boss of this company and you gave explicit orders to produce this many if the price is this high, because that's what you heard at the seminar, and the vice president of marketing decided he's going to try to produce more than that? What would you do with such a person? Well, if there's a whole classroom of people here, I would say at least 50% of you all, at least from my past experience, would say the guy can't follow orders. I mean, he's just brain damage or something. He just doesn't know how to follow orders, and you just can't run a company with somebody that doesn't know how to follow orders like that. That's my experience. I'd recommend you don't do that. What I recommend is a different strategy. Mr. Vice President of Sales, could you call your friend, and this time we're going to take Mercedes-Benz out to dinner. They took us out to dinner, right? This time we're going to take them out to dinner. And what are we going to talk about? We get to dinner and we say, hey, nice to meet you. So glad you like our product. But there's something that we need to tell you. What we need to tell you is that when we accepted your order, it took us way out of our comfort zone. We weren't ready for that capacity at that price. And so now, before the order, we were making money and we were a profitable company. Now that we took your order, we're losing on every sale. And it's just a matter of time, because we've got a contract with you. Is the Vice President of Marketing authorized to bind the company to a contractual obligation? Everybody out there nod yes. Yes. So the company's now bound contractually. So we got to produce these for you. We can't cut back on our other customers. We got a contract with them too, but we're losing money, and it's just a matter of time until we're going to run out of money, and then we won't be in business. Now, you never go to your customer, you never go to your boss with only the problem. You always bring a potential solution to the problem, because that's what you went to college for, to solve problems, not to report problems, but to solve problems. So how are we going to solve this problem? The president says, here's what I propose. You know, I've always wanted to automate this plant. There's lots of things we can do to automate, but you know, we can't automate unless we get volume. Because there's this thing called this average fixed cost, and when we automate, we've got this big amount of equipment that we've got to run a lot of stuff through before we can get our costs back out of it. So what I propose is, if I can draw something a little bit differently here, what I propose is that we go to the bank, we show them our contract with you, and we're going to ask the bank for a multi-million-dollar loan. And what we're going to do with that loan is we are going to automate and expand our facility. In the short run, we're stuck right here. In the long run, we got options if we can get some funding. So we'll show that we got the business. Now what we need to do is get more cost competitive. And we can't get cost competitive in this environment because we're maxed out here. So we're going to borrow this money and get on a different average total cost curve. I'm going to make that a little lower, just for fun. I'm going to make that a little lower, all the way down to here and back up. Average total cost. We're going to get on a different average total cost curve. Now, we got a lot of competition that have the same costs that we do. And if we can borrow the money, and if you guarantee us, give us another 6 years of guaranteed volume, because the bank's going to want that just to make sure that we get enough business to pay back the loan. If you sign off that you'll buy our products for the next 5 to 6 years, then we can borrow the money that we'll build a new plant that's automated that can bring our prices down, our costs down, and that will bring our price down. And we'll lower our price all the way down to PX. We'll lower our existing price right there, because now our new marginal cost curve will be right here. And here's where we were. And with your guys' help, we're going to be right here, right there. And we will have a very nice, healthy profit margin there. So we've got our old volume, we've got our new volume, and in that new plant we'll be very cost efficient. Fact is, we can go out and we can even get some more business to take us even further, which we will attempt to do. So if you will help us get this loan to increase our productivity and increase our efficiency, we will help you by lowering our price. You get a good deal, we get a good deal. Now, because we didn't fire that vice president of marketing, do you think he'll be very loyal to us? Do you think he's going to make that mistake again? Do Do you think that he's going to really care about the company if we cared about him? Now, this is not marketing. This is really not economics. This is really about personal relationships and human resources and all those things. But it really comes down to people dealing with other people and not hurting and not harming anyone who makes a legitimate mistake. He made a mistake. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't mean. It was for the best of motives. And we ought not fire people for making a legitimate mistake, non-culpable mistake. So in this case, we can increase our average total cost. Now, what's that game where you try to get below the bar? I don't know what it is. Whatever. There's a game where you try to get under the limbo. The name of this game is limbo. If we can get on our new cost curve, we can lower our price. We can gain more volume. And what happens to the other firms if they try to lower their price to match us? They're just breaking even. They're barely making money while we're making lots of money. We could actually bring it down and run them out of business because now we're on a more competitive cost curve. Now, if we continue to expand like that, this is a short-run average total cost. This is a short-run average total cost. And if we expand it again, we'll find something that happens like this. That after a certain point, the dotted line would be our long-run average total cost. In the long run, as we continue to expand our operation and get bigger and bigger factory, we get more efficient. We can get lower and lower. But after a while, it will begin to go back up and we get the same bowl effect. We get economies of scale, long run, and then we begin to get diseconomies of scale as we try to make this factory bigger and bigger in one location. The name of the game is we want to get here on one of these curves. Now, how do you beat somebody who does this? If I was this firm, how do you beat these firms? Well, one thing you can do is if you could, especially if it's in international trade or something, if you could block them regulatorily to reduce their volume. If you force them to reduce their volume, you force them to move and get rid of this business. If they tried to live off of the same customers they had before at this new price, then their cost, their average total cost is going to be above their price. And they couldn't do it. So if they got to live off this part of the curve, they're going to die. They want to live in this part of the curve right here. So the name of the game is, as with the Palos Park curve, you've got to have volume. If you've got volume, you've got options. You don't have volume, you don't have options. So, one more time. These small curves are the short-run average total cost. This long curve right here is called the long-run average total cost.